Welcome back. So in the previous video, we've been discussing about an closed die forging. So in between that, before that, we have been discussed about what is the forging, what are the different types of forging, and what are the different shapes can be obtained by using the forging, and what is open die forging, what is a closed die, and we have been discussed about the impression die or what we call as a dropping forging. So like this, we have many different types of forging methods. As we know that the forging is used to heat the material, and in order to get by applying a compressive force, so we can able to obtain or we can able to get a different shape or a size for based on the requirement. So in this what we're going to discuss is about in this video we're going to discuss about the press forging and what are the defects of forging, right? So in this first we're going to discuss about what is a press forging and how it is going to be a difference between the forging and what is the difference between the forging and press forging. And here we're going to discuss about the defects in the forging. Then we're going to discuss about the upset die forging. So these are all the topics that we're going to be discussing in this video. Yes, coming to first one is press forging. See, the press forging dies are similar to the drop forging dies. See, what are the same? It is press forging is also similar to the drop forging. How we have been using in the drop forging dies. Also the process in the press forging, the metal is shaped not by means of a series of blows as in the drop forging. See, in the drop forging, the series blow of hammers will be used in order to fill that cavity in between the two dies. So here what happens? So in the press forging, the metal is shaped not by means of a series of blows as in a drop forging, but by means of a single continuous squeezing action. So it is how the press forging is different between the drop forging is. In the drop forging, mainly we are going to focus on the to fill the that is what the cavity between the dies by applying a blow of hammers, continuous blow of hammers. By applying that we're going to fill that. So here we are not going to use as a continuous blow of in the form of drop forging. So here mainly we're going to use as a continuous squeezing action. So the continuous squeezing action only, because of that only the material will be filled between the two dies. So that is one of the major difference between the die forging and a press forging. So this squeezing is obtained by means of an hydraulic process. So the squeezing will be takes place by the hydraulic process. So where in the drop forging we are going to use as a blow hammers in order to for the blow hammers we are going to apply the compressive force with the help of the blow hammers in order to fill between the dies. So here what happens? This squeezing is obtained by means of an hydraulic process. So here for a forging we are going to use as an hydraulic process. So because of the continuous action of hydraulic process, the continuous action of hydraulic process, so the material gets uniformly deformed throughout the entire depth. So this squeezes is obtained by means of an hydraulic process because of the continuous action. What the continuous action of takes place of an hydraulic process, so the material gets uniformly deformed. The material starts getting uniformly deformed throughout the entire depth. So this is how the press forging will takes place. So more hammer force is like to be transmitted to the machine frame in the drop forging. So we are mainly in the drop forging we are going to use as a more hammering forces. So in the press forging what happens? So in the press forging it is absorbed fully by a stock. So it is fully absorbed by a stock. Hence the more hammering forces, that is the hammering forces that will be the transmitted to the machine frame in the drop forging, where in a press forging it is absorbed fully by a stock. So this is how the press forging will works comparing with the die forgings. Coming to next one is about forging defects. See, what are the major defects during the forging? As we know that because of the heating of a material to the recrystallization process, then we are going to apply compressive load or a compressive forces on the material in order to get a desired shape, size, or a structure. Now that are how the forging will takes place to get a material to get a required shape. So here the forging we're going to discuss about the forging defects. So the most common forging defects can be traced to defects in raw material. See, mainly the major defects will be occurred during the forging is about because of raw material and improper of heating of material. Even the one major defects is occurred in the raw material and improper heating of material. If you are not able to heat the material properly, so the grain structure is completely filled. Whenever you going to heat the material to the required temperature, automatically the grain structures will be freely will be there. At that time, you're going to apply the load. Automatically, the material can able to bend to a different that is the required shape, size, or a structure. So next one is the faulty design of dies and improper forging practice. So one is about an raw material, other one is about an heating of material, and the next major defect caused because of an improper design of dies and improper forging practice. So these are the major common defects that can be occurred in the forgings. One is because of a raw material, and the next one is heating of a material, and improper designs of dies and forging practices. So next, coming to the most common defects present in the forging are laps and cracks at corners, or a surface lap is caused due to the following over a layer of a material or another surface. So these laps and cracks at a corners or a surface lap is caused due to the following over of a layer of a material or another surface. So these defects are caused by an improper forging and faulty design. See, these laps and cracks will be obtained because of the improper forging and improper die design. So next, coming to the incomplete forging, either due to the less material or inadequate or improper flow of material, so that forging only it will not be completed. So this is also one of the major reason. And next, coming to the mismatched forging due to the improperly aligned dies at an holes, and the scale pits due to the squeezing of scales into the metal surface during the hammering action, and burnt or overheated material due to the improper heating. So because these are the some of the major reasons, so that may cause the defects in the forging. So as we know that mainly depends on material and the design die and any improper practice forging practice and other conditions. Because of this only the dies will be the forging defects will be occurs. So next, coming to the upset die design. So this is what we called as an upset die design. So where you can able to see this is the diameter and this is the 3 times of the diameter that will be there. So by using this upset forging die design, so this is how we can able to see this the material. So when by using this upset die design, so the material, the shape can be obtained in this form. You can able to see here. So the we can able to get the different shapes by using this upset forging die design. Yes. So in upset forging, there is no reduction in cross section. So in upset forging, there is no reduction in the cross section, and only the stock length chosen is smallest area of cross section. You can able to see there is no reduction in the length, only the cross section will vary in this upset forging die design. And coming to that upset, then the chosen is smallest area, that is the smallest portion of the cross section, and here there will be very negligible flash is provided. So next, coming depending upon the shape of upsetting, the number of passes or blows in the dies are to be designed. So based on this shape upsetting, the number of dies are to be designed. So the amount of upsetting done in a single stage is limited. See, the upsetting can be done in the limiting only in the single stage. So three rules are to be followed for a safe amount of upsetting. So if the stock longer than the 3 times the diameter is to be upset in a single blow, then the following condition should be compiled. And the next one is the die cavity should not be wider than the 1.5 times. 1.5 times the stock diameter, and the free length of the stock outside the die should be less than half of the stock diameter. If these conditions are not compiled, then the stock would be bent. If these conditions is not overcomes, then it starts the material bending. So the material has to be getting this form by using the upside forging die. So if you're not going to use this proper, automatically it depends the material starts will be bending. So based on this required conditions, we need to design the dies. Based on this, we need to design the dies. Otherwise, the conditions will be not compiled. The stock would go would get a bending process. So this is how about an upside die forging process. Thank you.